Hello everyone, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Brian, and I am the newest member of the High Stakes team. Now I'd like to commence this video with a request for those interested in receiving more premium betting tips and predictions. If our guidance has contributed to your success in winning bets and generating revenue, we kindly seek your support in revitalizing this channel. Your assistance plays a crucial role in bolstering our presence on YouTube. You're welcome to explore our Patreon support tier or check out our various plans. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you seeking our premium picks. Boston Red Sox vs New York Yankees. My team pick is, the Red Sox have won 9 of their last 10 road games. They are playing very well offensively and scored at least 6 runs in 4 straight road games. Expect them to play well offensively in this game, because they've hit the ball well against right-handers and Cole has struggled on the mound so far this season, giving up 9 runs in his 3 starts. He also struggled in recent starts against the Red Sox, going 0-2 in his last 4 starts against them, giving up 16 runs during that span. With New York's bullpen also struggling, they will have a hard time slowing down the Red Sox in this game. The Yankees have lost 7 of their last 8 home games. They have struggled offensively and scored 11 runs in their last 4 home games. Their offensive struggles will continue in this game because Winkowski, who is used primarily out of the bullpen, has done well on the mound for the Red Sox, giving up 2 runs in his last 3 appearances. He didn't give up a run in his lone start of the season, and didn't give up a run in his last road start against the Yankees. With Boston having the 6th best bullpen in the league, they will keep New York's offense in check. Go with Boston to cover the money line. My total pick is over the total. Houston Astros vs Minnesota Twins. My team pick is Houston Astros money line, and here is why. Joe Ryan has a record of 1-3 with an ERA of 8.53 and 23 strikeouts in 4 appearances versus the Astros in his career. The Houston Astros have a record of 8-2 in their last 10 games against the Twins on the road. Joe Ryan has struggled in his career against the Astros, and I expect that to continue in this one. On the season, the Twins have struggled at allowing home runs as they rank 4th to last in home runs allowed. Ryan has contributed to this problem as he has allowed 15 home runs in his 17 starts this season. In his last outing against the Astros, Ryan allowed 4 home runs and had an ERA of 9 in 5 innings pitched. This game is going to be determined by the starting pitchers, and Minnesota is heavily disadvantaged in this matchup. My total pick is over 8 runs, and here is why. The Minnesota Twins have an over-under record of 7-3 in their last 10 games. The Houston Astros have an over-under record of 6-4 in their last 10 games. This is a total that the Astros will be capable to take over themselves even if the Twins are unable to get any runs in on Hunter Brown. In his career versus the Twins, Hunter Brown has an ERA of 4.08. If Brown allows his average ERA versus the Twins, we would only require the Astros to get at least 5 runs, which they have achieved in 8 of their last 10 games. Los Angeles Angels vs Chicago Cubs. My team pick is Chicago Cubs to win, and here is why. When looking at the starting pitching numbers during June, they have been able to show a bit of a difference as Tyler Anderson was 2-3 with a 4.15 ERA and a .256 batting average against in 34.2 innings, while Kyle Hendricks was 1-2 with a 3.60 ERA and a .22 opposing batting average and 25.0 opposing batting average in 25.0. These bullpens have been on 2 different levels throughout the season, as Los Angeles is 28th in Major League Baseball with a 4.71 reliever ERA, while Chicago is 19th in the sport with a 4.25 bullpen ERA up to this point. My total pick is under 8.5 runs, and here is why. These teams just played the opening game of the series and scored 6 total runs, so expecting more is going to be a bit difficult. Both teams in the last 15 days are pitching well enough, as Los Angeles is 11th with a 3.79 team ERA, while Chicago is 19th with a 4.40 ERA as a team. These offenses as of late have shown a bit of a gap, as the Angels are scoring 3.85 runs in their last 13 games, while the Cubs are averaging 3.86 runs in their previous 14 games played. Neither team throughout the season has been hitting too well when runners are on base. Los Angeles is 24th in the entire sport with a .702 team ops in those situations, while Chicago is right at league average, as they are 15th in the majors with a .745 team ops up to this point. These teams are not known as being offensive threats, so take under 8.5 runs in this game as the better option for this matchup. New York Mets vs Pittsburgh Pirates. My team pick is New York Mets to win, and here is why. New York is in a fluid situation heading into this set with the Pirates. The Mets went 1-6-4 from June 3rd to 28th. but the Mets have lost 4 of 6 games, including a 1-0 setback against the Washington Nationals on Thursday. They find themselves in the thick of the National League wildcard race, but over the next 3 weeks they must determine whether they will be buyers or sellers at the July 30th trade deadline. David Peterson will start on Saturday. Last week he allowed 2 runs on 7 hits and 1 walk over 6.1 innings to go along with 2 punchouts. I like him to pitch well in this game against a Pirates team that has lost 6 of 9 facing NL East opponents. My total pick is under 9.5 runs, and here is why. The Pirates will start Bailey Falter in the second game of this home series. Last week he earned the win Sunday over Atlanta. He allowed 1 run on 2 hits with 4 walks and 5 strikeouts over 5 innings. After giving up 8 free passes across 10.1 innings in his previous 2 outings, David Peterson was much sharper in last week's game, walking fewer than 2 for just the second time this season in 6 starts. Both pitchers should be able to pitch into the 5th or 6th frame. The total has gone under in 6 of Pittsburgh's last 9 home games. Cardinals vs Washington Nationals, my team pick is Cardinals to win, and here is why. Gore allowed 5 earned runs on 9 hits over 6 innings when he faced the Cardinals in Washington last season. The Cardinals won 2 of 3 against the Nationals during their 3 games set in Washington last season. St. Louis have won 4 of their last 6 games at Nationals Park. The Nationals have won only once in their last 3 series at Nationals Park, and they have not had a true home field advantage in 2024, winning under 50% of their games played there. Nationals batters have not been effective during the day, batting a lean .2333 with a .364 slugging percentage. Their offense has been struggling, scoring 2 runs or less in 3 of their last 5 games. St. Louis has won 2 of their previous 3 games on the road and 3 of 4 overall. The Cardinals have come out on top in 2 of their last 3 series on the road. The Nationals have lost 7 of their last 10 contests. Washington ranks near the bottom of the league in multiple offensive categories, so they may not have the firepower to mount a comeback if they fall behind early. The stats and trends strongly support a Cardinals victory in Washington Saturday. My total pick is over 9.5 runs, and here is why. 7 of the last 8 games played between these 2 squads have gone over the run total, with 39 runners crossing the plate during their 3 games set in St. Louis in July last year. 2 of the 3 games played in Washington last season also went over the total. The Cardinals hit a healthy .280 with a .486 slugging percentage in Washington over their previous 5 games, and they have scored 5 runs or more in 5 of their last 6 games on the road against the Nationals. Both teams' pitching staffs rank in the bottom half of the league in batting average against and whip, and the Cardinals have produced a higher ERA on the road 3.97 than at home 3.73 this season, so the odds either or both squads score quickly in bunches are higher than normal. The Nationals have pushed or gone over the run total in 3 of their last 4 games overall, and they have scored 5 runs or more in 6 of their last 9 road games. The Cardinals have gone over the run total in 2 of their last 3 contests, and their pitching staff has allowed 4 runs or more to their opponents in 3 of their last 5. Most signs point to a higher scoring affair in Washington on Saturday evening. Tampa Bay Rays vs Texas Rangers, my team pick is Rangers on the money line, and here is why. Texas and Tampa Bay have both had disappointing seasons, but this is a good spot to take the Rangers on the money line. Taj Bradley has struggled mightily this season on the road, and although Texas' offense has struggled this year, this is a good spot for Texas to take advantage of the right-hander. Heaney has also been solid as of late and should be able to limit the Rays' offense. My total pick is under 8.5 runs, and here is why. The under is a good play in this game featuring 2 struggling offenses. Tampa Bay and Texas both struggle to get base runners and advance them, which will lead to the under hitting here. This season, the Rangers are .50433 in hitting the under, while at home is .28122, which is the best under record at home in the majors. Tampa Bay, meanwhile, is .40434 in hitting the under, but the 3 games against Texas have averaged 8 runs per game, but is inflated due to 1 game going for 12 runs. My total pick is under 8.5 runs, and here is why. The under is a good play in this game, featuring 2 struggling offenses. Tampa Bay and Texas both struggle to get base runners and advance them, which will lead to the under hitting here. This season, the Rangers are .50433 in hitting the under, while at home is .28122, which is the best under record at home in the majors. Tampa Bay, meanwhile, is .40434 in hitting the under, but the 3 games against Texas have averaged 8 runs per game, but is inflated due to 1 game going for 12 runs. Baltimore Orioles vs Oakland Athletics. My team pick is Baltimore Orioles to win, and here is why. The Orioles are having a standout season with a 5.632 record, leading the AL East by 2.5 games. They also lead the league in runs, home runs, RBIs, and slugging, and are in the top 5 in hits. While both starting pitchers, Cade Povich for Baltimore and Luis Medina for Oakland, have ERAs over 4.00, Povich has shown better control and potential. His 4.05 ERA and 17 strikeouts, though not stellar, are still more reliable than Medina's 4.80 ERA and 22 strikeouts. Logically, the Athletics are 33-56 and at the bottom of the AL West. They have struggled significantly, particularly since June 1st, going 10-21. Their inconsistency and inability to maintain momentum make them a less threatening opponent for Baltimore. The O's have won 6 of their last 7 games, showcasing their current form and momentum. Players like Ryan Owa, and Austin Hayes have been delivering clutch performances, and Craig Kimbrell has been reliable in closing games. My total pick is over 8.5 runs, and here is why. The Orioles rank first in several offensive categories, including runs, home runs, RBIs, and slugging, and they are in the top 5 in hits. Their potent lineup is capable of putting up big numbers consistently. Both starting pitchers, Baltimore's Cade Povich and Oakland's Luis Medina, have ERAs over 4.00 and losing records. Povich's 4.05 ERA and Medina's 4.80 ERA indicate that runs are likely to be scored against them. Statistically speaking, the Orioles have a strong over-under record this season: 4.43-4.10 overall, 2.2164 on the road, and 1.391 against the AL West. Lastly, the practical logic. Baltimore's offense has been firing on all cylinders, and with Oakland's pitching staff being relatively weak, the Orioles are poised to take advantage and put up significant runs. Additionally, the Athletics' occasional offensive bursts, as seen in their sweep of the Angels, suggest they can contribute to the total as well. Detroit Tigers vs Cincinnati Reds. My team pick is Detroit Tigers to win, and here's why. Hunter Greene has been struggling as of late, as in his last 6 starts. He has a 4.96 ERA and a 1.22 WHIP in 32.2 innings of work. Matt Manning has not pitched in the majors for more than 6 weeks, but there is still some confidence that he can shake off the rust and do well. Detroit was able to score 5 runs on Friday without a single hit with runners in scoring position and put themselves in a great position with 3 solo home runs in the opening game. When looking at how these offenses have done in the last week of action, there is a clear difference. The Tigers are scoring 5.33 runs in their last 6 games, while the Reds are averaging 4.83 runs in that same stretch of action. The Cincinnati Reds have been unable to get into gear as of late, and while they were able to make the 9th inning interesting on Friday's opening game of the series, they were severely outplayed for the first 8 innings of this game. My total pick is over, and here is why. These teams were able to score 9 total runs on Friday night against one another, and it helps create some confidence in the offenses for this game. These teams have been dominant with runners in scoring position throughout the season thus far, as they are tied with one another for 7th place in Major League Baseball. Both the Detroit Tigers and Cincinnati Reds have a .793 team ops with runners in scoring position thus far. Hunter Greene has allowed at least 4 runs in 3 of his last 6 starts, while Matt Manning has been struggling in terms of getting back to the majors, as he has pitched to a 4.96 ERA in 10 games in AAA Toledo this year. San Francisco Giants vs Cleveland Guardians. My team pick is Guardians moneyline, and here is why. While Cleveland starter Allen has not been lights out by any means this season, he still has managed 8 wins, and the Guardians have won 3 of his last 5 starts. SF starter Harrison returns to the hill for the first time since June 10th and will likely be somewhat limited on the hill. The good news for the Giants is that Harrison's issues were ankle-related as opposed to arm-related. He'll likely be limited due to stamina, but there will be no restrictions based on arm issues. Allen has had issues with the long ball, but the Giants lineup is nearly as banged up as their rotation, so he should be able to get by on Saturday. I'm going to lean toward the Guardians, the most consistent team in the American League. My total pick is under the total. Chicago White Sox vs Miami Marlins. My team pick is Chicago White Sox minus 1.5 runs, and here is why. The White Sox and Marlins are 2 of the worst teams in the MLB. However, in this contest, the White Sox have a significant pitching edge with Garrett Crochet expected to toe the rubber. Crochet has a record of 6-6 with a 3.02 ERA, 0.93 WHIP, and a 141/20 KBB ratio in 18 starts this season. Opposing batters are hitting .198 against Crochet. He has struck out 10 or more batters in 6 starts this season. Crochet has not allowed a home run in a game in 8 of his last 10 starts. He gets a superb matchup against Miami. The Marlins have been poor on offense this season. They are bottom 10 in the league in runs, hits, home runs, RBI, walks, batting average, OBP, SLG, and UPS. Crochet will dominate Miami's batting lineup. The White Sox will win this contest by 2 or more runs. My total pick is under 7.5 runs, and here is why. This game features 2 of the worst defensive teams in the league. The Marlins have been poor on offense this season. They are bottom 10 in the league in runs, hits, home runs, RBIs, walks, batting average, OBP, SLG, and OPS. Chicago has been awful on offense this season. They are bottom 5 in the league in runs, hits, home runs, RBIs, batting average, OBP, SLG, and OPS. Garrett Crochet has been one of the only bright spots for Chicago this season. Crochet has a record of 6-6 with a 3.02 ERA, 0.93 WHIP, and a 141/20 KBB ratio in 18 starts this season. Opposing batters are hitting .198 against Crochet. He has struck out 10 or more batters in 6 starts this season. Crochet has not allowed a home run in a game in 8 of his last 10 starts. He gets a superb matchup against Miami. This will be a lower scoring contest and the under will hit. Toronto Blue Jays vs Seattle Mariners. My team pick is Seattle Mariners to win, and here is why. This is the first time that these starting pitchers are facing these opposing lineups, so they should have the advantage heading into this matchup. Seattle is a dominant 2.916 at home this season and should have the advantage here as well. These bullpens are going to play a major factor as the Mariners are 14th in the sport with a 3.77 reliever ERA, while the Blue Jays are 29th in the majors with a 4.83 bullpen ERA thus far. My total pick is under 8 runs, and here is why. These lineups have been absolutely terrible in the last week of action, as the Blue Jays are averaging 3.83 runs in their previous 6 games played, while the Mariners are struggling even more, as they only scoring 2.4 runs in their last 5 games. Neither team throughout the season has been able to hit, and these rookie pitchers are coming off solid outings heading into this game. Philadelphia Phillies vs Atlanta Braves. My team pick is Phillies moneyline, and here is why. Between Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Ronald Acuna Jr., and Michael Harris, there are some stars missing from this high-leverage matchup. It should still be a solid game, but I have to give the edge to the Phillies in this one. We don't get to back them at coin flip odds very often, so I'll take this opportunity to lay the short juice with them. Mainly, this one all comes down to the pitching matchup. Do we only have to lay a -110 price with Ranger Suarez against Spencer Schwellenbach? Sign me up. Schwellenbach hasn't looked good throughout his young career, posting a 5.68 ERA. He's tasked with taking on a Philadelphia offense that's still ranked 10th in team batting average .258 and 12th in ops .726 over the last 7 days, i.e. the Harper-Schwarber-less edition of the team. They should put up enough offense behind Suarez to secure the win. My total pick is under 8.5 runs, and here is why. While I think Philadelphia's offense will find enough success to win the game, I'm expecting a lower scoring affair overall. Both of these offenses are top-tier units, but they're both shells of themselves without the aforementioned stars in the lineup. Then, we can also factor in that Ranger Suarez is taking the ball. The left-hander has been nearly untouchable this year, logging a 2.27 ERA second and 0.99 WHIP eighth. Some of Atlanta's remaining stars, like Ozzie Albies 4-20, Matt Olson 6-21, and Marcell Ozuna 3-18, are just a combined 13 to 59.220. Runs are going to be tough to come by for Atlanta, which is why I ultimately think the under is the best play in terms of the total. Milwaukee Brewers vs Los Angeles Dodgers. My team pick is Dodgers to win, and here is why. This is the first time that these 2 National League heavyweights are meeting this season. Last year, the Dodgers went 5-1 in their 6 meetings with the Brewers, sweeping 3 games at home. Milwaukee's starter Peralta has been successful versus Los Angeles in his career, but this season he's been a little off on the road, going 3-3 with allowing 6 home runs and 23 walks in 49 innings. Paxton is coming off his worst start of the season, so he'll be looking to erase that memory. The Southpaw has done well to rebound off of bad starts this season, and he is 3-0 with a 2.51 ERA and 5 home starts this season. Los Angeles is 7-1 in their last 8 games against the Brewers before Friday night. My total pick is under 8.5 runs, and here is why. We have 2 good offenses and 2 strong pitching staffs in this one. Last season, the under went 3-2-1, as the 2 teams averaged a combined 7.7 runs per game. In 5 of those games, at least one of the teams scored 2 runs or fewer. Prior to this series kicking off, Milwaukee scored 3 runs in 3 of their last 6 games. The Dodgers scored 4 or less in 7 of their last 9 games. Noted above, Paxton has pitched very well at Dodger Stadium this season, allowing a combined 5 runs over his last 3 starts there. I like a nice pitcher's duel to dominate. Kansas City Royals vs Colorado Rockies. My team pick is Royals minus 1.5 runs, and here is why. Kansas City hits .261 BA /.314 OBP /.399 SLG /.712 OPS VS. Left-handed pitchers in .253 /.318 /.318 It knocked Gomber around last season's 6 runs in 2.2 frames and hit 2 home runs off him in 2022's 6.0 IP. The Rockies starter puts a lot of runners on base and doesn't generate many swings and misses, which is troublesome for the home team. The Royals will get to him early, chasing him from the game and feasting on Colorado's inefficient relief group 5.62 ERA and 1.60 WHIP. Lugo has been lights out away from Kauffman Stadium, as opponents are hitting just .194 against him in his road outings this year. He's also 7-1 with a 2.57 ERA and 1.13 WHIP in 11 night games. The Rockies are coming off their worst month at the plate. .235 /.290 /.393 /.683 and were outmatched in their 3 matchups versus Lugo last season. Casey's bullpen, which has allowed the 3rd fewest home runs in MLB, will shut the door on Colorado when his night is finished. Kansas City has an edge on the mound and in the batter's box. It will ride those advantages to a cover on Saturday night in Denver. My total pick is over the total. Arizona Diamondbacks vs San Diego Padres. My team pick is San Diego Padres moneyline, and here's why. San Diego has won 11 of the last 14 and the Padres have won 7 of the last 8 against a team from the National League. In 7 games played head-to-head this season with Arizona, San Diego is 4-3. San Diego is 2nd best in team batting average, while 8th in runs scored and 10th in slugging percentage. Both Fernando Tatis Jr. and Xander Bogaerts could be back in the lineup for San Diego following extended time on the injury list. Arizona starting pitcher Brandon Pfaadt has allowed 14 runs across the last 30 innings, but in one of those 5 starts, the right-hander gave up 9 hits and 5 runs in just 5.1 innings against San Diego on June 7th. San Diego starter Matt Waldron has allowed 9 runs in the last 30.1 innings, with San Diego winning 3 of the 5. Waldron gave up just 3 hits and 1 run in 6 innings on June 8th, when San Diego defeated Arizona 1-3-1. My total pick is under the total.